Zok the Heilige Gemara. We're up to the Mishnah on Daf Mem Aleph, Omer Aleph. Today's Rosh Chodesh Menachem Av. The Rebbeinu Shem should help that we shouldn't have a Tisha B'Av this year. We should have big Yeshuas. Kol Chazaka She'eni Matayna. Chazaka that's not backed up with an argument as to why this property is mine. Eine Chazaka will not be a good Chazaka. Ketzat. What's an example? Omer Loi Ma'ata Oisha B'Soich Shuli. A Ma'ar comes to a Machzik and tells him, what are you doing on my property? V'omer, the Machzik responds, V'omer Loi, Shaloi Omer Li Adam Davar Me'olam. I'm here because I'm here for 3-4 years. No one said anything. That's why it's mine. Eine Chazaka. That's not a Chazaka because you have no explanation as to why this should belong to you. What about if I say, you know why I'm here in your property? Because Shamachartali, Shinasatli B'matana, Avicha Machrali, or Avicha Nasali B'matana, I have a claim as to why it's mine, and I didn't hold on to my star because I'm here for 3 years and nobody was ma'ar. So I have a claim that I purchased it fair and square, but I don't have proof anymore. But Harezu Chazaka, since I'm there for 3 years, we accept that as proof in lieu of a star. What if I say I yarshin this from my father and I'm here for 3 years, but I don't know exactly how my father acquired it. I know it was his property. There ain't a tzarech taina. There I don't have to be able to explain how my father got it because there's no way that every child knows all of the acquisitions of his father, how he got it. It's pashit that chazaka she'eini mataina is not a good chazaka. Zokt Gemara, no, the Mishnah is telling us a chid. Mao de tema, hai gaver mizvin zavno. Let's say this guy who claims I get to stay here because I was there 3 years and didn't claim that he purchased it. Maybe in fact he did purchase it. So why is he not incorporating that into his taina? So really he bought hayar. And when he bought it, he had a star. But the irchas, he lost the star. And therefore, the reason why he doesn't say that he bought it, he just says, I'm here for 3 years, and therefore I get to keep it, is Savar, he's thinking to himself. He doesn't know this halacha, that once you're there for 3 years, you don't need a star anymore. He doesn't know that. So he's afraid, if I claim that I purchased it, Amrli, they're going to ask me, show your star, and I lost my star. So therefore, I'm not even going to mention that I bought it. I'll just say it's mine because I'm here for 3 years. Hilchach, maybe we should ask him as a bezdin, maybe you actually did buy it, and try to pull out of him this taina that he bought it but he lost the star. Because this is the case where you have to coach somebody how to taina to protect himself. Kamashlan, that we don't coach him. If he turns around after he said that this property is mine because I'm here, and then when he sees that they don't accept that, he says, well, I bought it, that you will accept from him. It's not considered a toy in the choish of a toy. But if he doesn't say it on his own, we don't coach him to say so. Rav Anan shakal bitka ba'arei. Rav Anan had a horrible flood in his property, and it washed out the borders of his property. It washed out the fencing around his property. So now he doesn't even know where the property line is between him and his neighbor. So Ozal Hadar Guda Ba'arei, the Chavrei, he put up another fence, but he didn't put it in the right place, and it turns out that he now infringed on his neighbor's property. And his neighbor took him to Dintayra. Also the Kameid Rav Nachman. And they went to which dayan Rav Nachman? Amalei Rav Nachman said, Zil Hadar, you must give back the land. So Rav Hana said, what do you mean? Achzikali, I read a chazaka. I was in his land, I made this fence, and he saw that I made the fence, and he didn't protest. And I hold that in such a case, it's an immediate chazaka. Amalei Rav Nachman said, where did you get this idea that you'd only 3 years? Command Rav Yudav Rabbi Shmuel, the Amri called b'fanav la'alter hava chazak. You like in the Mishnah, Rabbi Yudav said that the only reason why you need 3 years is because you got to get the Spain and back. But really, the moment I make a chazaka, that's already caused for a need to make a bacha. I want to tell you, Zakar Nachman, less hilchas or kavasai. We don't pass like Rabbi Yudav. We paskin. We don't pass like Rabbi Yudav. We paskin like a Tanakama that you need 3 years and you don't have 3 years. Amar Leib, but Rav Anan said, but still the Achil, he for sure was Michael. You know why? The Asav Isaiah Begudabada. He actually helped me build that fence. So clearly he's involved. Clearly he agrees. And we had a case a couple of blot ago that says that if the ma'ayer is helping, he's caught helping the machzik load pears into a basket to take home, that's instantly a chazak, because no one's going to help someone steal his pears. So over here too, he helped me build the gate. Amalei Rav Nachman said that he helped to build the gate does not show anything at all, because Mechila Batasi, he thought also like you that in fact this was the right border of the field. Otherwise, he would never have helped you. At Gufach, Rav Nachman told Rav Anan, you yourself, you wouldn't have stolen land. Iyavayodas loyavdos. You would not have made the fence in his property had you known that this wasn't really the property line. So kihechi the at loyavayodas, just like you didn't know, hunami loyavayoda. So the fact that he helped you build the fence means nothing at all. The Gemara tells us another story. Rav Kahana Shokol Bitka be'arei. He also had a flood. Hadar Guda, Azul Hadar Guda ba'ara delavdide. He also rebuilt the fence and he encroached on his neighbor's property. The question was how much he infringed. So, also the Kamed Rabbi Yehuda, they went to adjudicate this difficulty with Rabbi Yehuda. Also, I see Trey Sahadi. The neighbor brought a pair of Edom, two single Edom that came together as a pair, but they contradicted each other. One of Edom said that the fence was moved over into his neighbor's property 2 rows of whatever was planted there. Actually, it was 3 rows. But the problem is these 2 Edom are contradicting each other. Nevertheless, Rabbi Yehuda said, they both agree, both of these individual Edom, even though they're contradicting each other, they both agree that you have encroached 2 rows. For sure, you need to give them back 2 rows. So, Rav Kahana commented to Rabbi Yehuda, Amalei Kaman, you're telling me that even though these 2 Edom are contradicting each other, and maybe we should throw out both of their testimonies, you're telling me that we can accept the part of the testimonies that are consistent. It must be that you're holding to Reb Shimon ben Elazar, because it's Reb Shimon ben Elazar who holds you don't discard their whole testimony. The Tanya Amar Reb Shimon ben Elazar, lo nechlegu beishamei ubeis Hillel al shtei kitei edim she'achas emeres mana ve'achas emeres masayim sheyesh b'chal masayim mana. If there's 2 sets of edim, there's 4 edim. 2 say Reuben o Shimon amana, and 2 say Reuben o Shimon masayim. Everybody agrees there that each of these 2 sets of edim will stand independent. And we have consensus that for sure Amana is owed. Everybody agrees to that. Alman Nachlaku, you know where there's a Machlokes B'Shamai and Basil? Al Katachas. If we only have 1 set of Edom, and even this set of Edom has a flaw because the 2 individual Edom in this set are contradicting each other. B'Shamai says you throw them both out. These Edom contradict each other. Basil says, as far as the money is concerned, that's not a contradiction. And you're passing like Reb Shimon ben Elazar, who passes like Basil, that these 2 Edom are still valid for what they agree upon. On that, Rav Kahana told Rabbi Yehuda, I will bring you a letter from Eretz Yisrael that will testify to the fact that ain't halacha Reb Shimon ben Elazar. We don't pass like Reb Shimon ben Elazar, and we totally reject the edus of these 2 Edom. So that was a challenge for Rabbi Yehuda's psak. Rabbi Yehuda didn't back down. You know what? Right now you don't have this letter. You bring this letter and then we'll talk about it. And obviously Rav Kahana didn't bring that letter. So in fact, the psak remains standing that Rav Kahana now has to move back 2 rows. He lived in the city of Kashta. On the 2nd floor, he had the 2nd floor of a duplex. And he was there Arba Shni and no one bothered him. Also, Mari de Besa. Eventually, the owner of the main level came and saw this guy living in his property. Amalei told him, my boss, my Besa, what are you doing in my house? Amalei, mi planius evinta. So Reuven goes to Shimon and tells Shimon, what are you living in my house? So Shimon tells Reuven, I bought it from Levi. Mi planius evinta. I bought it from Levi. And how did Levi get it? The Zavna Minoch. Levi told me that he bought it from you. Also, so they went to Reb Chia to adjudicate. Amalei, Reb Chia told Shimon, if bring Adim to testify that Levi, who you claim you bought this property from, will live there at least one day, then ukimna lo biyadok. Then we will let you keep this property. But the loy, if you can't even prove that Levi lived there one day, loy, we will not give you this property. Amar Rav, so Rav said, "How yisivna kamei dechaviv." I was sitting in front of my uncle Reb Chia, who he referred to as Chavivi, my beloved uncle. For Amr Lei, and I told him, I don't understand. Why is it that we need Eidim that Levi lived there for one day? Even if Levi never lived there, but he bought it and flipped it the same night. Why wouldn't that be a good raya? And why do we need to prove that he lived there for a day? So now Reb Chia didn't verbalize a response, but from Reb Chia's facial expressions, Rav said I was able to understand what Reb Chia meant to convey with his facial expressions. And that was, if Shimon tells Reuben, I know Levi bought it from you, because I witnessed that sale. I saw Levi buy it from you, and only then did I buy it from Levi. Mehemen, there, Shimon is believed to say that it's his property. Migoi, because he could have said a better time. Migu di boy amalei anozavant minoch. He could have said I bought it from you. So this is a chazaka sheyeshi time. I'm giving you a very good positive argument. It's mine because I bought it from Levi, and I know Levi bought it from you. I shouldn't be believed to say Levi bought it from you. For that I have a migu. I could have said I bought it from you. So it's a chazaka sheyeshi time. However, if I said I got it from Levi, but I don't know that Levi bought it from you, he just told me, so that's a chazaka she'eni matayna, and therefore, unless I could bring Eidim that Levi lived there at least one day, the land will be taken away from him. I believe that Reb Chia's halacha is right, and that is that unless you could bring an Eidim that Levi lived there at least one day, it's a chazaka she'eni matayna, and you don't give it to him. And the raya is from our very own mission. The Katani, Haba Mishum Yerusha, Einay Tzarech Taina. If I claim that I yarshin this property for my father, and I was living in this property for 3 years, and no one said anything, there we said I don't have to have any other argument. But it doesn't say Einay Tzarech Klum. It says Einay Tzarech Taina. I don't have to have a clear argument that's how my father got it. Taina Hu Deleva. I don't have to have a clear argument that that's how my father got it. Haraya boy, but I still require 2 Eidim that will testify that my father had it. So that is exactly what Reb Chia Pascal. Correct Gemara, but who said you could make that deal? The Dilma loy raya boy, loy taina boy. Maybe you can't be medayik that from the Mishnah, and maybe when it says Abba Mishum Rishon Tzorech Taina, maybe it doesn't need a raya either, and therefore you don't have a raya from our Mishnah to Reb Chia. But even if you want to make the diak in our Mishnah that when you yarshin something, you do need a raya that your father lived there one day, that's by Yerusha. But Reb Chia cannot apply this to a case of a lakeach, which is our case, where Shimon bought it from Levi, because the lakeach is different. The boy is saying mashani lakeach the leishadi zuzi bichti. A Yerush, he got a property. He has no idea where it comes from. He has to have a right. His father lived there one day. But a lakeach, no one will just go to Levi and buy a property and trust Levi that he bought it from Reuven. A lakeach surely would have done his own due diligence to confirm independently that Levi did legitimately buy it from Reuven, and therefore he's going to spend the money to buy it from Levi. And therefore, maybe by lakeach will be different, and we wouldn't hold like Reb Chia, and maybe the fact that I'm saying that Levi bought it from you without any right that Levi lived there, maybe that would be better. Reb Chia did paskin that we need Eidim that testify that the lakeach lived there one day, or in the Mishnah's case, we need Eidim to say that the father lived there one day. What if nearby? What if the father was seen in the field, but not living there, not taking pairs there? He was measuring, he was doing stuff. Would that also be good enough? Amar by yes, he's doing stuff. He has a presence in the field. But Rav Amar, no. It's possible that the person was just in the land measuring. He was considered buying it, but who said he bought it? And therefore, unless you saw the person living in the field or taking payers from the field, it would not be good enough to give it to his child, even though he had a chazak. What happens if this property changed hands many times, 3 times? So instead of Reuven selling it to Shimon, and then Shimon being there for 3 years and throwing out a star, Shimon only lived there for 1 year, and then he sold it with a star to Levi. So now you have 2 years of chazaka, Shimon and Levi, and then after a year, Levi sold it to Yehuda, and then Yehuda lived there another year. So altogether, there's 3 years that people are living in it other than Reuven, but it's not all the same person. So the halach is mitzdarfim. Neither of them have to hold on to their star. Once 3 years passed, since Reuven wasn't ma'ayer, that will be a good chazak. Omar Rav, but Rav says that's v'chulam mishtar. That's only if all of these sales were with a star. Because if they were with a star, it makes such a big tumult when there's a star. It creates an awareness. Everybody will know about it. Even Reuven will find out about it, that his property changed hands from Shimon to Levi and from Levi to Yehuda, and therefore it would have been incumbent on him to come and make a machloek. But if it wasn't written with a star, it wasn't a sale with a star, it was just Adam, maybe Reuven never knew that there was a sale there, and therefore Reuven had no reason to be machzik, to be ma'ayer, because Shimon was there 1 year. 1 year is not a problem. Then Levi was there for 1 year. That's not even a problem. Then Yehuda was there 1 year, not a problem. But neither person had a chazaka. So why would I have to be moichel? But if it was sold with a star, there I have to be moichel, because then I know there's continuity from one to the next. So Gemara, remember the Sover Rav, star is lakalo, Adam less lukalo. So that means Rav must hold that if you sell something with a star, that will create publicity, people will know about it. But if you sell with Adam, nobody will know about it. That's not true. Rav holds even if you sell with Adam, people know about it. Because Rav himself said, Rav, if I sell a field with Adam, so Reuven sells Shimon a field with Adam. Now he's giving achrayus, meaning if a ba'choiv of Reuven comes and seizes the property from Shimon, Shimon can go back to Reuven and get repaid for his field. Not only that, what if Shimon doesn't have any money left to pay? If Shimon sells any fields after the sale that he made to Shimon, this Shimon can go and seize properties that he sold later. The question is, why is it fair that he should be able to seize properties that Reuven sold later? These poor Lekukais, how were they supposed to know that there was this liability there? How were they supposed to know that earlier, prior to their purchase, Reuven had sold the field to somebody else? How could they possibly have known? If there were only Adam on the sale, that doesn't make a coil. So how is it that their properties are also encumbered? So it's a very big difference. If you're looking to buy a property, it's incumbent on you to do a title search and make sure that there weren't any other sales prior to yours. If you look, the fact that the sale was done with Adam will give it enough publicity that if you're looking, you're doing a title search, you're going to find out about it. And therefore, there is a coil, but a small coil that you'll only find if you're looking. But an owner of a property, Reuven, if Shimon and Levi sold the property with Adam, Reuven would have never found out about it because he's not doing a title search on his own property. And therefore, only if they sold with a star, where there's going to be publicity, only there is it incumbent upon Reuven to be ma'ar. Okay, Baruch Hashem, we finished up Mem Aleph, and tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem, we will learn Daf Mem Beis.